Hey everybody, Steve Maxwell here. Well, I promised I'd share with you the story of the 4x14 Black Beauty snare drum that belonged to Papa Joe, and you see him here using it with Milt Buckner. This drum is a drum that I had sold in the past, and it came to me from John Riley, a great New York drummer, fantastic player, educator, and I've known John for quite a number of years. And there's a really great story behind this whole thing. This particular drum, you can see it here. It's got a great story. At one point when John was much younger, he had actually taken a couple of lessons from Billy, and Billy was so good and so stern, it actually kind of scared John off. But a lot of things. Long story short, things change a lot over the course of time. Years go by, and John tells me he had a chance to pick up a snare drum. And there was a lot of drums for sale. John lives in New York, and he actually went, someone let him know some drums were for sale, so he went and took a look at these. And the person who was selling them was Marcia Cobham. So he went over, he knew, they recognized the name, and there were some things of Billy's there. And what ended up happening was Marcia showed him this very snare drum you're looking at right here that was Billy's. And John bought it on the spot for a very crazy small sum of money, and had the drum because he remembered seeing Billy play that drum and use that drum on intermounting flame. So years and years go by, and actually John loaned that drum to Dennis Chambers for one point, and took him a year to get it back from Dennis. But anyway, the story on this drum, according to Billy, and Billy ran into John many years later, Billy had said that William F. Ludwig gave that drum originally to Gene Krupa. Gene then gave the drum to Big Sid Catlett, who you see right here. Big Sid was a great player, also played with Satchmo, Louis Armstrong for many years. Big Sid then gave the drum to Papa Joe. Papa Joe used that drum for some years, as you see him here again using it with Milt Buckner. Then Papa Joe gave the drum to Billy. Billy had that drum, used it on intermounting flame, and when the drum ended up getting sold by Billy's wife, that drum went to John. So John picked up that drum, played it for a number of years with a calf head on it, incredible instrument, and it got to a point where John said he wasn't playing it any longer, and this was back in, 2011, I think it was. Yeah, 2011. I got the drum from John and offered to sell it on his behalf. It was such a historic and cool piece. And I contacted a good friend of mine who is a collector, and he purchased this drum, and it remains in his collection to this very day. So it was a great piece. I remember playing on it. It played fantastically. 4x14 Black Beauty with that heavy two-piece shell. It's an incredible drum, scroll pattern engraving. And yeah, it's well worn, but who cares about that? It was an incredible piece with a great history. So here's the lineage again. William F. Ludwig gives the drum to Gene Krupa. Gene Krupa then eventually gives the drum to Big Sid Catlett. Big Sid then eventually gives that drum over to Papa Joe Jones. And then Papa Joe gives it to Billy. And it gets to John. And I remember John telling me Billy's comment was, so you're the guy that got the drum. He said, you're the only one that's ever paid for it over the course of all that time. So anyway, there it is. There's the history behind it. I hope you enjoyed this. And we're going to be doing some more videos, of course, over the course of time. If you want to contact me, you can always reach me at vintagedrums@aol.com. And again, enjoy this. I hope you enjoyed it. There's a story. The story's printed on my website at maxwelldrums.com. Over on the left side, there's a category about the Papa Joe Jones Black Beauty, and you can read the entire text that John had given to us. Everybody take care. Thanks much, and we'll talk again soon.